What's going on, folks? Welcome to another video on the channel. Even if you don't collect currency, you probably still like making money. And what's more fun than turning the money you already have, especially that loose change, into hundreds or even thousands of dollars? Now you're probably like, that's not possible. But if you watch any of the over 1,000 videos I have, I cover all things collectible and what can be worth money. So let's get to the meat of the video. In this one, I'm going to switch it up a bit. We've been doing a regular find series where I show you coins that normally come up in change, but a few people have asked me, what are the crazy rare ones? So let's talk about some modern quarters that are 100% real, 100% verified, and crazy valuable. Let's get into it. We'll start with one of the key dates in the entire Washington Quarter series. That's the 1932 Washington Quarter. This was part of the very first year Washington Quarters were minted, and only about 400,000 of these things were made through the San Francisco Mint, which is the one we're talking about. That's an extremely low number for a modern coin. Now, of course, this thing is approaching 100 years old, so they're not found in pocket change pretty regularly, but they do crop up here and there in coin roll hunts, and you can find them cherry picking through local stores as well as in old collections. Most of these were released straight into circulation, and many were lost, damaged, or spent decades in those old dusty coin jars in the corner. That's what makes mint state examples extremely rare. A certified MS-66 sold for $89,000, but that was almost 25 years ago. Now, skipping forward, in the 2010s, one sold for almost double that. There was another instance where one sold through Bowers and Morena for over $140,000. So these aren't theoretical prices, these are real auction sales through PCGS's verified sales listings. Even in lower mint state grades, so you're talking lower MS grades, these still sell for well over $1,000. So if you ever come across a 1932 S quarter or any 32 quarters, you could be sitting on some really good money. Now, speaking of the other 32 quarters, let's talk about its counterpart from Denver. This one is a great Washington quarter. Only slightly more were made. 436,000 would be minted, and like the San Francisco version, nearly all of them went into circulation. But Denver coins are notoriously harder to find in really top-end grades, so even circulated versions can sell for really good money. One MS-66 example sold for 143 grand. That's the same price as that top-end 1932 S. And lower mint state examples routinely sell for $1,000 to $3,000. Here's what you're going to look for. You want strong luster in these older Washington quarters, pretty much any of them, but specifically these 1932s. You'll want full detail in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers on the reverse, and minimal bag marks. Anything certified at MS-61 or higher is going to be really good money. So yes, the first year of Washington quarters can produce six-figure coins. In normal though, you can definitely sell these for 10 to 20 bucks in even good circulated, ungraded condition. The next one on the list is the 1949D, so we're jumping ahead a little bit, about a decade and a half into the future. The 1949D quarter doesn't usually get a lot of attention, and I think that's a huge mistake. While it isn't rare in terms of mintage with over 10 million of them pumped out, high-grade survivors are really, really hard to come by. Now, of course, when you're getting up to like PCGS MS-67 or higher, of course the coin is going to sell for like what it did, $43,000. Other coins in even higher grades, closer to pristine condition, have sold for more and around the same price. Now, this isn't some obscure era rarity or variety. It's one of those really hard to find in good condition quarters. But you're probably saying, well, mine's not going to come back as MS-67. Even in below MS grades, you can see these sell in upwards of $500 or more dollars, so you don't have to have one of those perfect condition Denver coins to garner a great premium. Closing out the list, we're going to talk about a really new quarter that you can look for, so we're not just talking about those 80-plus-year-old ones. This is a modern 2019 W, America the Beautiful quarter. This one comes from the San Antonio Missions design, and here's why it matters. The West Point Mint had never struck quarters for circulation before 2019. That year, they released just 2 million W mint mark quarters for each of the 5 ATB designs. These would be mixed in with the ordinary Philadelphia and Denver quarters to create a nationwide treasure hunt. Maybe you heard about that. Most of these coins trade for $25 to $75 even in circulated condition, and that's already a decent flip on a quarter. But when you're getting into really high grades, like PCGS MS65 or higher, these can sell for well over $300 or $400, with an MS69 selling for $75,000. The fact that you could have found this coin in a regular bankroll makes it one of the most exciting things ever, and people are still finding them today. So let's recap. The 1932S and 1932D can be potential six-figure coins in top grade, but even lower circulated grades are great to hold on to and valuable. The 1949D is a sleeper worth over 40 grand in gem condition, but if you're not that lucky, it can still be worth $100 or more even in beat-up grades. And the 2019 W Missions Quarter brought modern collectors one of the most exciting circulation finds in the last few years, with a real-world auction sale of 75 grand and lower grades going for 50, 100 or more dollars. All of these are backed by multiple sources that are linked in the description so you can see for yourself. These are the kind of coins that prove it's not always about age, it's about rarity, condition, and then the demand. If you've got one of these in your collection, you're hunting for one of them, let us all know in the comments or on the community page. And if you're just now realizing that some quarters are worth more than your paycheck, don't worry. You're not alone. Hit that subscribe and like button, hit the notifications button so you see my next videos, because I've got more real world coins and collectibles that are worth good money coming your way.